It is the Matt Mosley Show. We're live. There it is, Scotty. There's my more comfortable environment there, off-putting to some viewers. But some folks that know me more used to this style Mosley. And we're off and running on a Wednesday. If this week feels like it's flying by, it's because most of you didn't go to work Monday. All right, that happens. You went straight to Tuesday. Scotty and I were working very hard Monday, and I've decided on Scotty's behalf, Scotty is doing too much. He's got a little too much going on in his life, and I always, pretty much through my whole career, I need everything to be focused on me. So Scotty, I just went ahead and took liberties. I've talked to the management, ownership there at Rogue, and you are now only assigned to my program. That's the only, no more pregame work, no more Pete Souza. That's out the window. You are Team Mosley. Scotty, you are a man who gets out of bed sprinting. And that's not how I really like to experience life. A little more than I want to lately. But just know, Scotty, congrats to you. I have cleared your whole schedule. Now, I've also, any sort of like side gigs that you might have, I also talked to those folks. And so you're no longer to report.
Now, if you took away all those job responsibilities from me, Matt Mosley, did you make sure I'm going to get paid the same to keep doing your show?
Same amount.
Great.
Like if there's anything outside of Rogue that you have to give up today, like for instance, if you have a shift somewhere today, somewhere else, then I need you to cancel that right now. I will assume that. I will pay whatever they were paying you.
What an offer.
So we will. This is a buyout. And what I really want though is I want all our folks, I feel like I think you'll enjoy the show no matter what. But you do need, it's kind of like Sunday school. Okay. You're gonna have better if you've read the book or whatever the study or whatever the verses are that day. Now, have I ever been one of those people in that Sunday school class that I'm glad I read that because this Sunday school is better because of that? No, I've never been that guy. But I do think it would be healthy as you're listening today live. But for later, for people, maybe coming to us later, we post all this. We have all kinds of opportunities. Go ahead and subscribe, by the way. And we used to tell people to leave a review. I don't even know if that helps. Does that help, Scotty? I don't even know. That used to be a thing. I don't know if it's that big of a deal. I say comment. Yeah. Okay.
Instead of reviews, comment, subscribe, and share it. If you like it, put it on your.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I don't know how to do that.
Subscribe, and share.
Yeah. You're asking a lot of me, but I'm happy to do that. And today, because we got this is going to be a good one, Scotty, and that's why I freed you up the rest of the evening, because I do think when we have the Sal Powells of the world telling interesting stories, he's a guy I've known for years. He might have been one of the many people early on at ESPN who referred to me as Mark. Because if you're of a certain age, which is significantly older than you, Scotty, if you're of a certain age and you see Mosley and it has anything to do with sports, you think my name has to be Mark because he was a famous kicker for the team formerly known as the Redskins. And one of those strike-shortened years, he won the MVP of the NFL. If you're ever wondering who the most random MVP ever was, it was none other than Mark Mosley, place kicker for the Washington Redskins. He played at A&M, and before the portal was cool, I think he finished up at SFA. So he kicked at A&M and SFA. And then a few years after he kicked, Tony Franklin showed up at Texas A&M and became one of the greatest kickers in college football history. And at one point, Scotty, you had University of Texas, Arkansas, and A&M with the three best kickers in the country. And they were all capable of hitting 65-yarders. back when you didn't like have a tee or anything, or you had to kick off the ground and you kicked barefoot. These dudes were hitting it 65 straight on, man. They weren't even getting the soccer thing. Straight on from 65, Tony Franklin. So, and he came on when I was doing the old Rogue podcast called Obstructed View. So, and that was fun. Some kicking notes from him. But what I was going to tell people is, for a homework assignment where I started all that Sunday school stuff, was that I need you to go look at a little bit of this. I don't want you to leave me live, but at some point today, and Scotty, I know you've had a ton on your plate today, but this Pablo Torre story, and the podcast is called Pablo Finds Out. It's kind of why I love podcasts so much, because you can they're so controlled and all that. But here at Rogue, we have a lot of great partners, and we like the streaming. We like to do live things, which is fine. And you can, by the way, on my YouTube page, you can comment and send us little remarks. And if they're nice, if they're kind, or you're a fan of the show, then we'll say it. If you're being critical, we will not. No, I'm kidding. We're fine. We got thick skin over here. But this Pablo Torre story today in the NBA is one worth checking out. And it now appears that the Los Angeles Clippers and their owner, Steve Ballmer, who, he came up, Steve Jobs, all of those guys, he's from that sort of realm. He's from that community. He's over on the Microsoft side of things. Wait, where's Steve Ballmer? Whatever. But he was one of those monster tech guys who came up and made billions of dollars. And he bought the Clippers, and he's the real goofy, over the top. He dances a lot. He goes crazy during games. So it turns out that there's evidence out there that the Clippers tried to use this no-show. They went full SEC football. They went with a no-show job for Kawhi Leonard, the former Spurs and Raptors great, that they went full SEC and invented a no-show job that involved tree planting, a tree planting business. Scotty, in our next careers, in our next lives, I think we look at the landscaping business, especially if we can get a no-show landscaping job. All right, those are the best kind. We get paid a ton to not show up and mow yards and plant things and plant trees. This was a fake tree planting business, and it appears to have been put in place to circumvent the NBA salary cap. Why would you do that? Well, maybe you don't want to pay the huge luxury cap. Maybe you want to pay a player of Kawhi Leonard's ilk at his level, kind of on the side, to sweeten the pot. Like you say, almost like NIL deals. You say, come here, here's what we can pay you, but we'll also find some endorsement money for you on the side. Now, Scotty, this company was called Aspiration, I think, or something along those lines. And it totally is a scheme, a fake. This has Madoff written all over it, and it goes deep. It goes deep. You got actors involved. Now, did they know this was like a cheat, or this was some kind of scam type deal? I don't know. I don't know who knew what. But this story, now, the Kawhi Leonard stuff's getting all the attention for obvious reasons. But it also involves two Democratic politicians, or maybe senators. And it involves climate change. And there's a whole level to it. But in looking at this crazy story, Pablo Torre used to be at ESPN, I think spent some time with SI, now at The Athletic, and the New York Times have somehow partnered with this new podcast. He's the guy, by the way, who broke all the news on Bill Belichick and his girlfriend, Jordan Hudson. That's Jordon. which I had to laugh, and you'll be proud of me, Scotty, because our man Kevin Longquist was talking so freaking much yesterday. When I had him on to talk about SMU, I couldn't even get in there and make a joke. Because did you hear him say, like, who SMU star receiver who's hurt right now is? The guy's name was Jordan Hudson. That prompted a lot of like good Belichick jokes. But we couldn't get him to stop talking. I mean, I love him. I love the guy, but we got to think about that next time we have him on. I've got to be a little more protective of our time, and I gotta zero in and maybe not ask questions that allow him to just wander. I'm sure from time to time, Scotty, you have people on. Please bear with me, and you're kinder than I am, and you would never roll your eyes at a guest or anything like that. But you know what I'm talking about. Now, the good thing about Scotty is Scotty. And I've got a little bit of this in me, so this is not necessarily a criticism. This goes back to in fact, Larry King, one of the most well-known interviewers ever, had a habit of interrupting. He when it was getting away, he could get in there and interrupt. Scotty Swingler, I can sense it. He's got a little bit of the interrupter in him, and that's okay, because every once in a while you got to do it. You got to do it when someone's just completely going off the rails. Although, Scott, on that, please bear with me. Scotty seems to be very, very kind and gracious to his guests, so he may throw the interrupting away. Scotty, lots going on up there today. This NBA story, before we let people, what I'd like to do, and Scotty's really good at this, what we'll do is sometimes we'll gather a podcast or a YouTube show, and when it's got some stuff we want, we can just show it to you. And we'll sit over there. We'll stop it whenever we feel like stopping it. But we'll at least kind of be able to give you a little background. Scotty, just scatter shooting or just kind of is that like an ESPN show? My first instinct on this is, whoa. I mean, I think the NBA's got some problems here, because first of all, Steve Ballmer's not the first guy to try to do something like this. So you may not have owners racing, pointing fingers to try to get him in trouble, but NBA cannot act like it's going soft on crime. And this breaks the day after Adam Silver's just hanging out, having a great time at the U.S. Open last night. He was there for the Djokovic Fritz match. And so Adam Silver is just sitting up in stands having a great time. Today, he's not having a great time. This looks bad. One of his billionaire owners looks like he was scamming the system. Now, what can happen if you get caught circumventing the salary cap? Well, you can get huge fines. That doesn't mean anything to him. They can take draft picks away. That does. I mean, I don't know what the Clippers draft situation is for 2026. We can find out in a hurry. But again, when it comes to first round picks in the NBA, that's a huge thing, because then you have 26, the 27, the 28. You end up trading those things. Sometimes you might even dip into 2030 for these future picks. And that's how you do current deals. That's how you go after superstars. All right. Even more so than the NFL and other sports. Draft picks are huge capital. In fact, they're more important than the money. In this case, the NBA could come in and go, you got caught, and sorry, we probably wouldn't have caught you, but Pablo Torre and his little team of investigators, they have shown up and they are doing some investigating. They are really getting after it. So, Scotty, let's before we do that, Scotty, I just want to get your thought. What's the worst thing you think could happen to the Clippers here? And if it goes as deep as it appears to go, is there any way they could suspend Steve Ballmer. Now, he would hate that more than most owners. Most owners would be like, well, this stinks, but I'll stay home for a year and it'll be okay. This owner loves being with his team. They have a new arena. It's a really cool looking arena out there in LA. I could see them trying to suspend Ballmer for a season or at least half a season over this. How does, at first blush, with all this breaking kind of right before we came on this morning, Scotty, where are you on this thing, and how bad do you think the punishment could be here?
I almost wonder if the NBA is going to go soft on this, Matt, actually, because I wonder, as you said at the beginning of your thoughts, how deep this goes. There's no way Steve Ballmer and the Clippers were the only team doing this. There's no shot. And I don't know how many franchises participated in something like this. 10, 20? Like, are we going to start vacating wins and taking away draft picks from all of them? I doubt it. So I think you're right. I think a Ballmer suspension makes sense. It is symbolic. It doesn't mean a lot ultimately. You're not going to have any way to go back and repair this. And again, it's not like the Clippers were out there winning NBA championships in this time. So there's no titles to vacate. You know, I don't know what you can really do about this practically.
Well, and yeah, it used to be in college, players like a certain OU quarterback that I remember would get in trouble for having a no-show job, and there might be some ramifications. Now, of course, the NCAA is basically out of the punishment business. They were horrible at it in the first place, and nobody has any trust in them. But that was my first thought, and I see it out there. I don't want to be like, oh, Mosley's saying anybody was ripping his thoughts off. Now, sometimes that happens. Sometimes I'll say something or tweet something, and someone will try to run with the joke. That kind of happens every once in a while. But in this case, Scotty, I had the same thought as a lot of people, that this had an extremely SEC feel to it. This is an old college football tactic that has somehow crossed over into pro sports. Now, I used to hear stories even with the Cowboys when they wanted to get somebody on the practice squad, but they didn't have enough room on the practice squad. I heard a story one time about like a tight end. I like this kid a lot. He played at like a smaller school, and they needed him maybe later that season. And so Jerry found him a job at a bank. And I think he was like a bank teller while they tried to free up a spot on the practice squad. I don't know if they ever did. Ooh, could I remember his name? Well, yeah, I think I could. This is so weird, Scotty, because like there are days I'm like, man, I hope I'm doing okay, mentally, because like I couldn't remember this famous player's name or something. But then occasionally from the recesses of my mind, a player from 18 to 21 years ago that never played a down in the NFL will jump into my mind. And his name was Landon Trusty. And I like Landon Trusty, but they were trying to keep him around, and they put him over on a bank. But that wasn't a no-show job. Landon actually had to go up there, and if you went through the bank, the auto bank or whatever we call that, the motor bank, you would see Landon up there, former Cowboys tight end. Like, hey, how much? Well, you want that in 20s? You want large bills? What do you need that in? I bet Scotty Swingler has not been to a bank. People of his age and a little bit older and a little bit younger, the thought of actually going into a bank lobby or driving through a bank line to do anything other than get an ATM, get some cash, which they don't do that anymore either. Scotty, when's the last time you went to a bank?
Beyond just an ATM?
Correct.
20. Give it. No, I know. Hold on. 2017.
And yet, if you're my age, if you're in your late 40s, early 50s, you invent reasons to go to the bank. You really don't need to, but you still kind of want to go by there. You just feel like it's good to stop by. It's good to know a few people over there, because the generation ahead of us spent their whole lives at a bank, either getting loans or doing deals or going inside almost at least 2 or 3 times a week. So when you watch your parents do that, you have a hard time not doing that yourself. Now, I'm sure there are people my age that don't go to the bank. I still like going to the bank. All right. I still like going in there and saying hello to some folks. Scotty Swingler has not been to the bank since 2017. I like that. We'll ask Sal Paolantonio. Oh, I haven't even said that, Scotty. Sal Paolantonio, Sal Pal, the very famous ESPN reporter, former Philadelphia Inquirer writer back in the day, that turned into one of the great insiders of all time at ESPN, Sal Pal, heading into the Eagles game. We're going to have to be on our game, Scotty, because like this Eagles story about not having the team out there for the banners is getting all the attention. I'm having trouble finding like who the Eagles players who are hurt right now, like the stuff we need to dig in with Sal Pal. All right, I'm going to need your help. Scotty. I mean, in any hour of the day, there are like 8 people asking for help from Scotty. Now, the only thing I ask from Scotty is during the hours between 1 and 3, he focuses on the Mosley show. But even at the beginning of the Mosley show, there was a young man named Mason poking his head in there, needing Scotty for something, or maybe Scotty needed him. But it's the dangest thing I've ever seen. Scotty, I'm gonna advocate for you, because right now you're quickly becoming sort of the MVP at Rogue, and the MVP deserves big dollars. All right, so I'll be working on that. Now, Scotty, I want to see a little bit of this though. This is the story of the day. This is big, and I want you and I, and again, we'll stop this if we think we've shared too much. But this is the Kawhi Leonard. This could bring down the owner of the Clippers. This could expose the NBA for like some huge cheating stuff. And this is a monster story that has other implications. We've got politicians. Surely we would never have politicians involved in corruption. And we are, when it comes to that kind of stuff, we stay out of that. We'll tell you what side the politicians lean, but we will not advocate for either side. But I'll just tell you, there are a couple of politicians who seem to be in trouble here and have gotten caught doing some weird stuff. But caught in all this mess is Kawhi Leonard taking a no-show job, one of the great no-show jobs in the history. Even the SEC never had one like this. Even Auburn or Alabama or Florida, none of them had this. We're talking $28 million to not show up to plant a tree planting business. This is the kind of no-show job we can only dream of. Scotty, let's zero in here and let's eavesdrop. This is Pablo Finds Out. This is the Pablo Torre podcast. I love how ESPN identified him. They didn't even say who he worked for, and they said former ESPN contributor.
Oh my gosh!
Wow! Way to go, guys! Way to be petty and weird and just gross. Anyway, here's our man Pablo Torre and his little band of reporters discussing this breaking news story today.
Well, let's try again.
No, it's okay. I was making sure it wasn't just me.
It was not just you.
We're going to fire that up. We've got the start of it.
We have a clue in the bankruptcy filing that we followed, that was hidden in plain sight, that got us to sign and execute the paperwork, got us to Uncle Dennis, to the aspiration logos that were supposed to be on the Clippers jerseys and all over the most sustainable arena in the world. And you get these private emails as a result showing Ballmer's personal connectedness to aspiration. And when it comes to Kawhi, again, it's just funny when the absence of evidence becomes the evidence.
No, that's...
But that's what an endorsement deal would force us to reckon with. is that feels like clearly something, even though it's definitionally nothing.
Nothing. He didn't have to do anything.
The question to me, and this is the question that has been phrased by the 7 sources inside of Aspiration that I talked to, the former employees, was this money going on what was framed to me as a round trip? Was it starting one place, going all the way around, and surprise, it's doing what the guy who gave the money up wanted it to do to help his own interests?
Mm-hmm.
And so this all raises this second related question, which is the more serious and vast question in the real world, right? Because this question is the one that the DOJ and the FBI and the CFTC and SEC, which are all, again, looking into this deeply broken company, are thinking. As my source put it, characterizing what their coworkers at Aspiration have lately been asking.
Why is Steve Ballmer backing a huge historic raise for Aspiration? Like, why? Also, what was the main motivation for such a large raise? Because from inside Aspiration, we see like the glitz and the glam of the celebrities that are posting, but from the finance side, accounts receivable were wild. Like the actual amount of money that needed to be coming in order for our revenue to count towards real revenue was astronomical in comparison to what was actually being received. There's a lot of these one-off LOIs that existed, letters of intent. There's all these one-off deals, but this proof of concept from a business perspective, at least from the finance side, did not make sense to the point where forecasting felt like casting spells.
When you look at this list, how many of those, and these are all listed as deals, letters of intent, dated as of early 2021, before Ballmer had made his big investment. How many of those are fake?
80, 90%.
They just said that 80 to 90% of the LOIs were fake.
As of early 2021, listed in the paperwork that Steve Ballmer could examine before he decided to invest or not, all of the $50 million that he put in.
Yeah, this is a little bit more than cap circumvention.
Given this special influence and the way Steve Ballmer was investing millions, but also getting paid millions via the Clipper sponsorship with the promise of an even bigger payout, by the way, if Aspiration were a real company that went public successfully to the tune of that $2.3 billion valuation, what did Steve Ballmer, the very best investor of the last 20 years, know about everything else going on at Aspiration? And when did Steve Ballmer know it?
So Adam Silver on one hand, and then you've got the government on the other. The government doesn't really care about salary cap circumvention.
Correct.
At all. NBA owners, NBA, they care deeply. The federal government cares deeply if there's any sort of fraud perpetuated on a common investor.
And that is a question that the NBA and the federal government would both have some curiosity about.
Oh, man. Now, first of all,
the podcast is called Pablo Torre Finds Out.
Yeah.
Mosley. He finds out.
Wow.
You will not hide it from Pablo.
And there's a lot of great memes out there with, like, if you ever saw The Wire and like the guy who would show up and everybody go scrambling and they're trying to say that's Pablo, and all the NBA employees are scrambling into their houses. He's on the hunt. And this is the guy, Bill Simmons, recently tried to act like, hey, he's a fake journalist. It's like, well, he's the scariest journalist because he's good at what he does. So he's a true journalist. But on top of that, he's an entertainer as well.
Yep.
And it's like the perfect combination. It's like he's way more of a journalist than like TMZ. Like TMZ just knows how to get the stories. They don't exactly know then how to lay it all out and couch it and all that. But again, by the time TMZ's done with you, the damage is done in a hurry. With Pablo, he's then capable of like putting everything in perspective. And then when you want to say, well, that's patently false and that's provably wrong, you can deny it all you want, but he's going to have like 350 pages of documents he's going to drop off and go, all right, sue me. You want to sue me? Here are my 7 sources from inside Aspiration, and I don't understand what this company was doing. It obviously there's some kind of like shell game Madoff type thing going on, and what they said is true. You're going to have a few problems. You're going to have salary cap circumvention. Is there fraud with the federal government? Who knew about this? How many people were involved? I mean, really, all Kawhi Leonard did is just go, okay, you're gonna pay me for an endorsement deal, and I don't have to do anything. Yeah, sign, pass that over here. Sounds pretty good. Now, I would like to think, Scotty, you and I might have a little more due diligence to us, and we might not lend our name to something just because, like, without knowing anything about it and whether or not it's even made up before we would just sign. But now, if we were us, and if you're Kawhi and you're already a multi worth hundreds of millions, this seems kind of dumb. This is like, you would kind of want to look into this more. If you're like somebody that doesn't make that much money, somebody says, tell you what, we'll give you $28 million to not show up. Everybody's like, yes, I would have signed for that immediately. It was like one of my longtime buddies at ESPN got laid off a few years ago. And because of the way his contract was written, he was going to get paid for 2 years, full salary, not to work. And most people would be like, oh my gosh, that's awesome. That's incredible. Full salary. And this guy made a ton of money. And of course, the guy, because people that are wired to report, and that's their life, it's not about the money. Like, he was miserable and complained the entire time. And some of us are kind of like, well, I mean, try me out there. Try me out for 2 years of full pay, and I don't have to do anything. I think a lot of people might sign up for that kind of thing. All right, I mean, this whole thing is fascinating. Good job, Scotty. That was we gathered that. We've been monitoring that story, and we do have Sal Paolantonio, the famous ESPN insider. When you talk about the major insiders, man, he's at the top. He's right up there with the great Ed Werder and others. Sal Paolantonio joins us right around 2:00 today. But next, let's do some Campus Confidential.
Are you ready to take control of your health? At 4U Health, we believe wellness and lab testing should be accessible, inclusive, and yes, fun. With our tech-powered at-home lab test, you save time and money while feeling your best. Say goodbye to long waits and office visits. Check your health on your own terms with 4U Health. Visit 4uhealth.com today and free yourself from traditional medicine. That's the number 4uhealth.com. Get ready for epic savings at Best Buy. Right now, you can save up to $700 on select Alienware and Dell gaming products. Perfect for leveling up your gaming experience. Plus, grab the latest Android Google Pixel at an unbeatable price. Don't miss these incredible deals. Shop now at bestbuy.com and upgrade your tech today. At Fullwell, we bring together the expertise of registered dietitians, MDs, and OBGYNs to give you the best fertility support. Our research-backed bioavailable formulas are crafted with your health in mind, ensuring the highest quality and safety. From preconception to pregnancy and beyond, we exceed industry standards with independent testing for harmful contaminants. With our comprehensive practitioner directory, personalized care is always within reach. Fullwell, your trusted partner on your fertility journey. Visit us at fullwellfertility.com. Experience the perfect blend of exquisite craftsmanship and life-changing technology with Gevi. Every product is built with precision, featuring specialized parts that ensure durability, efficiency, and safety. We put every machine through 6,000 rigorous tests to guarantee long-lasting performance. With cutting-edge technology and a commitment to energy efficiency, Gevi makes your life easier, greener, and more convenient. Upgrade your everyday with Gevi. Visit us at gevi.com to discover more. That's gevi.com.
Have you ever watched true crime television and wondered, how did they get that story?
I can show you. I was a producer for 48 Hours on CBS News.
In my exclusive tell-all book, I'll take you where no audience has ever gone before. Don't miss out. Secure your copy of Killer Story, The Truth Behind True Crime Television today. Available everywhere books are sold.
With San, owning iconic furniture no longer requires paying a premium. We use the finest materials like Italian top-grain leather, known for its durability and luxurious feel, and apply meticulous attention to detail in every piece we create. Our replicas are crafted with the same care and precision as the originals, but at a price that makes them accessible. With over 15,000 satisfied customers worldwide, we've proven that high-quality furniture doesn't have to come with a high price tag. Explore our collection today at san.com.
At Covers & All, we've revolutionized protective solutions with cutting-edge, customizable covers, tarps, and curtains. Using advanced tech fabrics that are 100% waterproof, UV tear, and abrasion-resistant, we ensure lasting durability with hand-sewn double-stitch seams. Our commitment to quality, precision engineering, and customizable options is unmatched. With vertically integrated operations and express shipping, we deliver premier protection at affordable prices. Visit coversandall.com today for the perfect fit, guaranteed to last.
We haven't been looking for you. Wake up.
Hellhound Country, available anywhere you get your podcasts. Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. Whether at home or on the go, NordVPN ensures your digital freedom. Stay secure. Download NordVPN today at nordvpn.com. That's NORDVPN.com.
When Central National Bank decided to partner with Baylor Women's Basketball, we didn't know exactly what that partnership would look like.
What brings you into the bank today?
For the last couple of months, I've been noticing a charge on my account, and I would like to block it.
I see. So you have a charge?
Yes.
And you'd like to block it?
Yes.
I think you should take the charge.
What?
Yeah, I definitely think you should take the charge.
I don't think you understand.
Sometimes you just have to take one for the team.
Is there a manager available?
We love that Coach Colin is all about the team. Once we get the vocabulary down, the sky's the limit.
Central National Bank, proud partner of Baylor Athletics and Baylor Women's Basketball.
I have Mac Rhodes, director of Baylor Athletics, on the phone. Mac, can you tell Peggy why she should take the charge?
Of course she should take the charge. Wait, are you at the bank again? And who is Peggy?
Welcome back, Matt Mosley Show. Scotty Swingler with you. Matt Mosley getting back in position. There's my guy. There's my guy. 5-minute break, Matt. Welcome back.
I don't think that was 5 minutes. My gosh. No, I was getting the cues, but I looked up at the last minute and the 360 that is giving people, motion sickness out there had just kind of turned around the other direction. Suddenly it was not, it was trying to find something else in the room. Scotty, good to be with you. I did want to let our folks know that Sal Paolantonio, the legend, and today was breaking news from ESPN. They're re-upping with Sal Pal. I mean, he's only been there for about 25 or 30 years, but maybe even more. I mean, my gosh, he's the dean of insiders. Well, I guess Berman, but he's been there about as long as Chris Berman. But Sal Pal is requested to move 3:30 Eastern. I believe, if I do the math correct, that would be 2:30 our time. So, Scotty, we'll allow it this one time, the movement. Now, if we can't track him down at 2:30, then he's finished. Okay, he's dead to us. But we'll give him a shot. Scotty's always very laid back about those things. Me, I get all keyed up. Like, are we gonna be able to reach him? We're gonna be able to do. I do have to laugh at, like, I did radio for many, many years, and so yes, the camera and all that kind of stuff, that's relatively new to me. Although I have done TV over the years, believe it or not. But it was like when I reached out to Sal today, he could not have been, he's like, hey, love to do it, but can't do video, only phone. So, and I think I find it funny that someone who's been on TV for like 30 years says no video, phone only. I mean, this man is used to having the hair right, the makeup right, everything. Scotty, have you noticed the lighting has changed? I did turn on the my little light, what do we call that, a ring light type deal, and so I've illuminated myself, and I don't know if that helps or hurts or whatever, but always enjoy just changing it up for our viewers out there. And I tell you what, man, we're gonna once we get Sao Paulo, we're gonna throw this interview around the country. We're gonna have some fun with it. But I just wanted you to know, Scotty, the reason I wanted you to know about Sao Paulo moving is, well, first of all, you're the producer and co-host of this fine show, but also I don't want you to feel rushed with campus. This is going to be a campus that we can just kind of settle in, do our thing, react to what we ever want to react to. One of the reasons people loved campus, and I had Baylor coaches tell me this over the years, is because it's like quick hitting. We get a lot of information. It's got a good rhythm to it. Maybe unlike the rest of the show, but no, it's got a good rhythm. And now Scotty has added all these graphics and video and fun stuff we can use. And I meant to send you, Scotty, I love that Dabo Brian Kelly thing where they were throwing barbs at each other. Now, the great thing about Scotty, so far in our early relationship of doing a show together, sometimes I'll think something and I'll forget to tell him. And then lo and behold, that's what he starts with. So there seems to be kind of like a mental telepathy thing going on, which I like. It's scary because most people, I think, they're not really on my wavelength. Now, I'm not saying that's a high wavelength. I'm just saying it's a weird wavelength. Okay. I mean, it is relatively, it's relatively high. No, Scotty, it is time for something we call Campus Confidential. People lining up to try to sponsor this. Been very exciting. All our sponsors. We may even invoice them at some point, but man, we've got lots of folks involved and want to be a part of the Matt Mosley Show. Scotty, take it away, sir. What's our first story in Campus Confidential?
Matt, let's start in the Big 12. Big 12 announced yesterday the players of the week for week 1. Did you see this? Do you know who was selected?
No, they've blocked me at the Big 12. So no, I want to hear. Oh, graphics. Okay, hold on.
Here are your Big 12 players of the week. This is the official graphic from the Big 12 Conference. They're doing 2 per side of the ball, which I think is a bit of a cop out. If you ask me.
Stupid.
Glad we both think that's dumb. But Rocco Beck and Devin Dampier suggested on the offensive side of the ball. Outstanding games for those 2 quarterbacks. Big wins, obviously. Bud Clark, Jake Galladay on the defensive side of the ball. And you can see the rest there. Bear Bachmeier. Pete Souza's obsessed with BYU's new quarterback, Bear Bachmeier, wins freshman of.
That doesn't shock me. I mean, he's obsessed with Mormons, period.
But there you go. Mosley, your Big 12 players of the week.
I mean, let me see who I like on that list. Bud Clark, I saw that pick 6. He was unbelievable. Rocco continues to do good things. I need to get my eyes on Devin Dampier. Can you remind me where he came from? Was he
New
a portal?
Mexico.
Oh, that's right, Lobo.
Now, here's what's interesting, Matt. I had a little theory before the season that Devin Dampier could end up being this season's Kyron Drones. I mean, a lot of success at a lower level, leaning a lot on his legs more so than his arm. The dude threw a lot of interceptions at New Mexico, but he looked pretty lights out over the weekend, not only running the ball, but throwing the ball efficiently for Utah as well.
What you have to do when you get a player from a school like that, from a program like that, you got to coach the New Mexico out of them. And, if he didn't have much protection there, and if the coaching was a little inferior, that might lead to some of those interceptions. But I really want to watch a Bachmeier game to see what that number 47 looks like. I think it's going to be very awkward and just kind of like uncomfortable to watch. a man maneuver around and throw passes in a 47. Like, everybody compared Arch's throwing motion to Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite. There's almost no way a number 47 can have like beautiful form. I wish you could just throw up some Bear Bachmeier highlights, because there's no way we look at Bear Bachmeier in a 47 jersey and see like a beautiful over the top, like, wow, this guy. I mean, it's not going to look like Aaron Rodgers, who Tom Brady called maybe the greatest thrower in NFL history. Now, why does he say that about Aaron Rodgers? Well, first of all, Rodgers had like a unreal arm. He had unreal accuracy. Like Favre had an unreal arm, but he would throw picks. Not that Rodgers didn't occasionally, but I understand where Brady's coming from. From a arm talent standpoint, I don't know if we've ever seen anything like Aaron Rodgers in his prime, because like if you're talking about just flat out accuracy, when the elements were right and he didn't have to throw a wet ball, Aikman was about as good as it is. But when it talks about off schedule throws, the closest one of this new generation to Aaron Rodgers is Mahomes, because he can make any throw. And he will go down as one of the great quarterbacks of all time. So you'll have, well, that's kind of cool right now that we have Tom Brady as what we'd call the GOAT. And then you could make an argument that two guys who are still playing are like second and third GOAT. I mean, you could go with Mahomes second and Rodgers third for the best of all time. Now, people will say, that Bradshaw had more rings. Aikman had more rings. You could always make the ring. Joe Montana had more rings. I'm not saying that's not important. All right. I mean, so if somebody wants to say Montana, that's fine. All right. Since we build this as quick hitting, let's get back to Campus Confidential with Scotty Swingler. Leading us off on these great stories. What else do you have for us?
Well, Matt, I just want you to know how quickly we can work here at the Mosley Show. Your wish is my command. Before we move to the next story, here are some Bear Bachmeier highlights.
Oh, man.
From this past weekend's game.
I bet Susan's wondering why he doesn't get this kind of reaction from you. This is unbelievable.
What are you looking for here? The throwing motion in particular? There's some running in the football, that number 47.
Yeah, no, I want to see 47 drop back and rip a throw. That's the dumbest looking jersey. I mean, seriously, they should not be able to win a conference title just based on that jersey. Look at 2. 2's got a little size to him. I didn't know number 2 was big. That's that Chase guy. It's pretty good. I just need to see. I mean, I like what you've done here. You're showing us good highlights, but I need to see him rip a throw. They're always in the red zone because they're playing somebody. Sorry. Who is this they're playing? Like Paul's Valley or somebody? Who is this? Okay, that's okay. It's very accurate, but it's also kind of a shot put, also kind of a throw that you and I could make against this team. I like that. I like that. Still, coming out of number 47. Oh, wait, we may have a throw here. Oh, geez. See, that's a get it out.
Little tunnel screen.
That's a get it out quick kind of deal. Look at the size that these guys have. Oh my gosh, they stayed in the red zone all night. Who is this they're playing? Oh, Portland State. What's the Portland State
Matt,
mascot?
I will tell you something. I really like the BYU navy blue uniforms more than their classic blue uniforms. I like this look.
Uh-oh. This is scaring me, Scotty. I think.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Okay, there's a little Uncle Rico to it.
He throws a pretty good ball.
The ball came out, but he's not. It's about what you'd expect from a number 47. That's a little bit of a cockamamie delivery. Beautiful throw there, though. Beautiful throw, beautiful catch. Okay, it's better than I thought. It's against Portland State, so we're not going to overreact. But I don't want to be like, oh, Mosley's got to support his theory, so he's saying the guy can't throw. That last throw, because he put it right over the back of the helmet of the safety. Now, Portland State may have had one of the worst secondaries I've ever laid my eyes upon. That's one of the saddest bunch of young men I've seen out there. And if they put me out there at free safety, I probably could have made a few more plays than those guys. But zipping that ball where he did in traffic right over the ear of the safety, I like that. And the ball got out quick. What I want to see is when he's under duress, does he drop it like Arch was? Does he get scared and does he drop it? Or does he stand in there like Carson Beck did the other night, the boyfriend of the Cavender twin, and boom, rip it off his back foot like Aaron Rodgers does? That's what I want to see from the young Bachmeier. I mean, Scotty, just based on your ability to get those highlights, the problem you're going to face with me is I'll just sit here and sort of think of things for random requests to make.
It is more fun to have those ready to go prior to the show, but you said we had to see it, and I was curious as well.
We would have, if I had you in this at ESPN Central Texas, we would have just taken over the world, and we would have it would have become syndicated, and it would have become a national show if I had you, the highlights, and then just this. I think I would have needed a better camera. This one here, look at it. Look at the subtlety of that. I like the Insta360 though. Whoever gave me that. The only problem is it just kind of sits up there, always on the verge of falling off. And you can imagine me when I do national stuff like the Cowherd show, and I see it moving. I'm like, dang it, you got to be still, Mosley. Okay, look at this. I'm going to practice being real still and calm. Scotty, back to you in the studio. What's your next story for Campus Confidential?
Next, and I
like
saw
that
this
little logo. I like that logo.
Thank you, Mike. That's courtesy of Mike Hamilton there. Hey, next, Matt. I just saw this come across the timeline on the break. Actually, looks like it came out at 11:35 a.m. But Ross Dellinger, great Big 12 reporter, says this, and I want to get your thoughts. Brett Yormark and Big 12 ADs held a 40-minute call today with Dave Portnoy, of course, of Barstool fame, now with Fox Sports, apparently offering him a blank canvas of engagement opportunities and emphasizing their full support of integrating the Barstool brand across league campuses starting this week with Iowa State. Iowa. Matt Mosley, is Dave Portnoy about to convert from Big 10 to Big 12?
No, so this would probably be more about branding. And boy, this is a be careful what you wish for, because ESPN tried to get in bed with him. And, Scott, all these people like Scott Van Pelt and others, and he's along, I've known him forever. They want to partner with them because they think it reaches a certain audience. And it does. I mean, to be honest, I would say, Scotty, your age and younger, actually a little bit younger than you, I would say in that 18 to 19 college kid to 30, that's a huge demographic that the Big 12 doesn't feel like it has, even though it's wait, what about the kids that actually go to your campuses? Are you not able to get them to come? But of course, they're trying to reach out and get more. I mean, again, some of these people in the Big 12 office are friends of mine, and I love a lot of them. But this is such a grab. This is such a this is kind of like what ESPN did with McAfee. Maybe on some levels it's worked, but the millions upon millions they're giving him, it's not really bringing him that huge of ratings. And you can't tell me that it's so at some point you do things. It's kind of like these play-by-play people. You don't pay Troy Aikman or Tony Romo $17 to $20 million a year because you think it's going to bring more eyes to the games. You do it because it gives your network more prestige. In this, it's not prestige for the Big 12. This would be about giving it more of a cooler, younger, hipper. but this is like the old Steve Buscemi meme that's so famous, hello, fellow adults or whatever, where he's wearing his cap backwards. This is an attempt of Brett Yormark and others to go grab a younger audience. Is it smart? Maybe, but invariably, you get in bed with Barstool, you get what you get. You get sophomoric, demeaning, it's not like they're saying a bunch of kind things about women, okay? They're degrading in a lot of areas. And Portnoy is, again, I get why you would do it, but the guy at times is a bit of a disaster. So if you're so desperate to get that younger audience and you want to get in bed with Barstool, fine. But just be ready, because he's going to go off and he's going to throw a bunch of F-bombs down, and you got to live with all that stuff. And I think there's a way to do things and you still do it with class. And that's not totally what they do. Now, that said, have I been on Pardon My Take with Big Cat and PFT commenter? I have. And I'm not even that proud of it, because when I went on, I remember telling a story that I would have never told on this platform or any of my other platforms. They have a way, but see, everybody, Ian Rappaport, Schefter, everybody that's big wants to get with them because that group has tapped into a audience that didn't feel represented. All right. Now, if you get in bed with Barstool, you're also making a big political choice. And that's probably where Yormark's going to get himself in trouble, because he loves the whole New York scene, and some of the people he runs with, whether it be Jay-Z, Rock Nation, whatever, skew left. Barstool skews hard right. And so when you get in bed with them, you're going to go hardcore conservative. And I don't know if he understands that that's about what's going to happen. Again, on this show, you'll never hear me coming on here talking politics and telling you what to vote for or any of that stuff. I'm just telling you, Portnoy is on the Rose lawn interviewing the president, and they skew that direction. The Big 12 likes to be apolitical, but once you decide to try to brand, again, to me, this reeks of a little bit of desperation. But Scotty, I'm very interested in what you might say. If you think it's brilliant, that's fine. There's probably things about it that are smart, but I just wanted to at least share what all is going to happen if they're going to do this.
Well, I feel like Dave Portnoy is a lot of outlets' response to Pat McAfee, and I just think that's a mistake, personally. All due credit to Dave Portnoy for building up Barstool into what it is and making his money and being successful. I really think that's incredible and wish him all the best. The problem is, I don't trust Dave Portnoy to stay on a script. I don't trust Dave Portnoy to do what a producer in his ear is telling him to do. Pat McAfee, for as outlandish and outspoken as he can be, can follow a script. He can play with a team, and I trust him most of the time. He's failed this test a couple of times, but most of the time to kind of stay in bounds with his comments. I think he's pretty self-aware and keeps his audience wide, despite his personal views. Portnoy, I do not trust to do any of that. And so I would agree with your concerns and hesitations. By the way, as someone who just turned 33, I am exactly the target audience for Pat McAfee and find his stuff to be the best. Portnoy misses me personally, but I don't know how he does, maybe with a couple guys, a couple years younger than me or maybe older than me. I think there are people your age and younger, maybe even my age, that love the fights, the beefs, people say
Well, I'm tired of these debate shows, for instance. And yet Stephen A. Smith's making some ungodly amount of money. Somebody likes them. Either advertisers or NFL owners like Jerry Jones. Somebody likes it enough that he's become a monster. Somebody likes McAfee enough that he's become a monster. Now, you're right. Portnoy, man, he can get scary at times. I mean, he can just he can go way off. You're right. But see, here's what's funny about what you just said. What you said was was on point. But they think they want him to go off script. That's what these people always think. They think that's what they love about him. Let's let him go off script until he does. Until it embarrasses some school. But like Baylor's values, BYU's values. I was going to say TCU. I'll leave them out. But like they do not in any way align with what Barstool does. Now, that doesn't mean PFT and Big Cat, those guys are kind of funny. I'll give them that. They're able to talk sports and be comedians. It's hard to do both, and they pull it off pretty well. They are funny, and they are witty, and some of their stuff on Twitter is funny. So, I mean, I do not want to come across like saying I don't think some of these people are talented, but what they've done is now launched all these Barstool sites where people that aren't funny and only know how to be mean and only know how to be like demeaning, like it's a crazy deal. And I mean, if they'll come after us, Scotty, if we came too hard at them and we went really hard at Portnoy, he would just unleash all his people to kill us. I mean, not physically, but you know what I'm saying. They would crush us on social media because it's like an army. And to that extent, it's very, very, what they've accomplished is kind of amazing. All right, Scotty, do you have another one or two as we continue with Campus Confidential?
Yeah, absolutely. So I found this interesting. There are a handful of college athletes. The story is on USA Today. Came out late last night, suing the NCAA, trying to once again change the definition of the red shirt rule. They argue that athletes having 5 years to play 4 years of college sports, this is a quote, arbitrarily cut short college athletes' ability to compete, end quote, and that it violates antitrust laws. It's two Vanderbilt football players who are currently in their final year at the forefront of this lawsuit, along with other NCAA athletes. Some of this coming up, Diego Pavia mentioned here because of his junior college exemption that Ashton Hawkins is also benefiting from at Baylor. Matt Mosley, 5 years to play 4 years of college sports. Is that unfair?
I mean, I think it's more than fair. And I think we swung over, with the COVID year, they tried, what happened is they tried to be so accommodating that, and once you allow something, even if it's like a 1 or 2 year type deal, in the COVID year, it just complicates everything. I mean, the problem when you started having these 6 and 7 year players and all the portal and everything, it squeezed out. Like, there are players from Central Texas and other places across Texas that could have gone D1 that no longer have that opportunity and will either have to play Division 2 or 3 or whatever we call these FCS now, because they've lost so many slots because of this. So even that rule for JUCO was crazy. It's like you can play 2 years at JUCO and then somehow your time completely start over when you get to a 4-year school. And so you literally have 5 years, if you want it, on top of the 2 years you've already played. It went too far that way. And now that you're trying to kind of rein it in a little bit, people are like, no, we don't want to let you rein it in. So, yeah, I don't. there's a lot of things for student athletes and everything that I think they deserve everything they can get. I don't fight against their money or anything like that. But when it comes to like how long you can stay on campus, I tend to go with some of these ADs and coaches that we've gotten a little bit out of hand. And it's hard. It makes it harder to run a program when you have no idea how long people can stay. How do you even project your lineups and your rosters? So yeah, I don't think I'm really siding with the Vandy kids here.
Well said. I think I agree with you.
That's fine. That's fine. Yeah, I'm open to that. Anything else, or are you good?
Last thought is this one can be quick. Did you see what Mike Vrabel said when he was asked this week, yesterday on WEEI's The Greg Hill Show, asked about Belichick's debut at North Carolina? Did you see what Vrabel's response was?
Vrabel's an old guy that played for Belichick, but are you going to play this, or are you just going to tell me? Because I loved it. I thought it was very funny what he said.
If been this much more prepared, I would have pulled the audio, but I don't have it. But here's the quote.
Okay.
He was asked by Hill, "You coached in college. It takes a while, don't you think, to get a program going?" Vrabel's response: "I don't know. Urban Meyer won 12 of his first 12 games at Ohio State, so it didn't take him long. That's my experience in college football."
Well,
little dig at old Bill.
A little dig at the man who he has followed with the New England Patriots, albeit one other player was in there for a year. I love that, like, New England's kind of like Duke in North Carolina. They only believe that one of theirs can coach. It's kind of like the Cowboys believing, well, because Jason Garrett was a third string quarterback all these years, like he understands us better than anybody. I mean, either he's a good coach or not, but these places that are so insular, only one of ours. And honestly, now that I think about it, Scotty, we may be like that. Baylor may have become a place that sort of believes that since Scott had such huge success, that if he had have left, we would have had to go hire someone that had coached at Baylor, that kind of knew the system and knew how Scott ran things, and that had gone on to have success elsewhere. Like that may have been what Baylor did, and we'll never know. I mean, it might have been Grant McCaslin or Jerome Tang as the replacing Scott if he had gone to Kentucky. I kind of think Grant was going to get first crack at it, but I don't know that for certain. But I'm just kind of reading between the lines. That's what I've always kind of thought. All right, we got a lot breaking. We got Cowboys, Eagles. It's upon us. It's tomorrow. We got Baylor getting ready to play SMU. That is there too. We'll talk a little bit about that. And then a reminder, at 30 after the hour, we will have the legendary ESPN reporter, Sal Paolantonio. It's all coming up next.
Transform your workspace with Hanomi Ergonomics. From adjustable chairs to standing desks, we provide solutions for comfort and productivity, whether at home or in the office. Improve your posture, reduce strain, and work smarter. Visit us at hanomi.co today. That's HINOMI.co today. Unlock a world of convenience with Mosley Box, your one-stop solution for personalized subscription boxes delivered right to your door. Each box is tailored to your taste. Experience the joy of surprises. Subscribe today at mullybox.com. That's MULLYBOX.com. Unlock your full potential with Onnit, your go-to for premium supplements, fitness gear, and wellness essentials. Whether you're training hard, recovering faster, or just looking to feel your best, Onnit has the tools you need to perform at your peak. Visit Onnit, that's ONNIT.com, and elevate your mind, body, and spirit today. At Rolls Rolla, we don't just sell wallpaper, we create cohesive, cozy spaces. Our deep understanding of design means every pattern, color, and texture is carefully chosen to complement your home. Plus, we use advanced technology and water-based inks for vibrant, eco-friendly prints, ensuring a healthier environment. Visit rollsrolla.com to transform your space today. That's ROLLSROLLA.com today.
Relax with Hemp Delicious. Organically grown hemp, massively blended with delicious organic herbs, responsibly sourced for their holistic benefits. Each sip offers calming, antioxidant-rich wellness. Brewed just for you. Sip the calm with Hemp Delicious. Find your blend at hempdelicious.com.
At Tusain's, we understand that maintaining a healthy lifestyle can be challenging, especially in today's fast-paced world. That's why our mission is to make fitness accessible to everyone, anywhere. Committed to excellence, we adopt a user-centric approach guided by ergonomics and medical science. With a team of seasoned professionals in R&D, design, and manufacturing, we prioritize quality across our entire product line. Visit Tusains.com today and start your journey to better health. That's TOUSAINS.com.
Ready to bring your vision to life? At Small Rig, every idea, design, and product is inspired by you, the creator. With our industry-first under co-design mode and the Dream Rig free customization project, we unite with global creators to turn big dreams into reality. Whether it's a cage rig or mount, Small Rig's versatile gear is built to elevate your craft. Small Rig, where your creativity meets our innovation. Go to smallrig.com.
Calling all Marvel fans, get Marvel Unlimited and unlock over 30,000 comics featuring your favorite heroes and iconic stories, all available to read anytime, anywhere. Whether you're into classic tales or the latest adventures, there's something for everyone. Don't miss out. Head to marvel.com/unlimited today and start your Marvel journey now. At Angel Bliss, we believe every parent's journey is a beautiful adventure. Our mission is to make it joyful and stress-free with thoughtful, safe, and innovative products. Born from a love for family, we promise peace of mind for parents and comfort for babies. From playtime to bedtime, every Angel Bliss product is designed with care, reliability, and a style to nurture the special bond between parent and child. Angel Bliss, creating happy memories, one baby at a time. Visit us at angelbliss.us. Angel Bliss.
Football season is back, and Underdog is the best place for you to make picks and win money all season long. And playing on Underdog, it's easy. Even I can do it. You just pick whether your favorite players are going to go higher or lower on particular stats like touchdowns or even interceptions, and you can win up to 5,000 times your cash. And you can play with as little as $1. So this week, let me show you what I'm looking at. This week, I am picking two of my favorite teams and some of their best players. For Thursday night's big game, Dallas at Philadelphia, I've got George Pickens going over 49.5 receiving yards. Good debut for him. And we know it's going to happen against a great defense like the Eagles. Dak Prescott higher than half an interception thrown. For the big game Saturday, Baylor at SMU. My guy Bryson Washington is going to get into the end zone. I've got him at higher than half of a rushing or receiving touchdowns. And listen, Baylor looked awful against the quarterback run last week, so I've got Kevin Jennings of SMU rushing for more than 29.5 yards. And hey, if you want to play along with me today, you can sign up with a promo code Mosley to score $50 in a bonus fund when you play your first $5. You play $5, you'll get $50 in a bonus fund. That's promo code Mosley. Millions of fans have already made billions making picks on Underdog. Will you be next? Underdog. Make picks. Win money. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 HOPE line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. That's 467-369.
Nobody, Scotty asked me, that my name was going to be attached to something. Why not Swingler? I just saw it up there on the screen. That's good. That's good though. I hope folks sign up for that. And it was fun to hear you discuss that. And I know that's a great group, and it's really fun to kind of monitor that. And there's certain terms, as I recall, because I've done some things with Underdog before, that you kind of have to, as you learn, as you're doing these things and reading and talking about it, there's certain things you don't say.
Right.
So that's why I just like, don't touch it. But it is fun to play. And I think that's great. But just, hey, use my name for whatever, man. Just put it right out there.
I think they did. I think that's what they did.
I think that's what they did. Okay, good. And but do that. Put the promo code in there and play as Scotty suggested. Reminder that at 2:30 we will have Sal Powell himself, his 30th year at ESPN. I mean, just amazing. And he signed an extension. The announcement came out earlier today, almost as big. It's kind of like the Micah extension. I don't know if it's that kind of money, but pretty good money, I'm sure. Scotty, I think we should ask for Sal Powell to reveal the numbers to us. What are the numbers? What are the terms on this deal? The Sal Powell extension that he just signed with ESPN. Great to have him. We'll have him via phone because Sal Powell is moving around the country and he's getting ready for the big Cowboys-Eagles game. And so that's how we'll do this. And so we'll about 2:30 though, we'll be ready to get him on and that'll be good. And he'll have some great information for us. As we get closer to Saturday, Scotty, the Bears and the Mustangs get it on, and I think this is such a fun game. I did see another site there's 27 sites that use the word Sick'em, including what the old rivals used to call it, Sick'em Sports. But I think this was Sick'em 365 put out there. So, should the Bears play SMU every year in non-conference? To which, Scotty, I responded with, I'll tell you, 2:30 Saturday. Now, I like the thought of it. It's kind of fun, to have the old SWC rivalry. I like the fact, I guess the best thing about this weekend is, I'm not saying they're the greatest games in the world this weekend. There are some SEC games, and somebody's going to Kentucky. It's pretty good to play. There's some interesting games out there. The best thing about this weekend is
Border War.
A throwback weekend. Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yep.
Iowa State, Iowa. When you say border war, are you talking about the real border war?
Kansas, Mizzou.
Yeah, but what did they call it at Oregon and Oregon State before everybody made them stop changing names? Was that the Civil War?
Yes.
Okay. And then the Apple Cup is Washington State. All these things are fun, and we've got to preserve as much of this as we can. And this weekend is about that. This weekend, we do have some regional matchups, and with the whole the Pac-12 teams, but going to the ACC and the laughable nature of Cal and Stanford playing some of these teams that are way over here on the East Coast, some of that is laughable now. So it's somewhat comforting, Scotty, to have a weekend where we get some regional games.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to answer the question about Baylor, if Baylor was going to have a protected non-conference opponent, which I don't know is wise. I don't know that you should ever have a protected non-conference opponent. But if Baylor was going to have one, Matt, I did not grow up in the SWC. I grew up with the original Big 12. And so for me, it would actually be far more significant if Baylor was going to have a protected non-conference opponent. I would much rather see that be Texas A&M than SMU. I wish Baylor was playing Texas A&M on the regular, certainly in basketball. I think you and I have discussed that, but also in football. I wish Baylor and A&M were playing. Doesn't have to be every year, but let's say at least every 3. I think Baylor and A&M need to be playing football.
Does Baylor have to go to Auburn now? What's
next year? Next year, yes, sir. Hey, Matt.
I was just going to say, let's not encourage them on this SEC thing.
Not only is Baylor going to Auburn, but then in another few years, Baylor's going to Oregon. What's an adventure that will be?
Yeah,
I might make that trip. Honestly, that would be a trip worth making.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I want to go, like, every time Baylor's up there for like that national championship track meet, the Prefontaine Classic or whatever they call all that stuff. I'm always like, man, I'd like to go do that. I'd like to be up in Oregon watching some track. That'd be a lot of fun. I never ran track, but I loved track. And I used to go from my little hometown, I would go to Dallas to watch the incredible track stars of the time. And that was always a lot of fun. I love your idea in basketball. There's no reason in the world Baylor and A&M shouldn't be playing. And somebody's playing. I mean, Baylor and SMU should play. Is that happening? Somebody's playing SMU. Somebody was playing SMU. Somebody's playing somebody in Fort Worth. The Baylor women are playing Texas. That's it. They're playing University of Texas. And so you're saying, yeah, even though you were really young when A&M left the conference,
I was a freshman. Freshman year was our last year with them in conference.
You would rather Baylor play A&M non-conference every year than University of Texas?
Yes, and I'm not sure if that's because that's actually how I feel, or if it's because it's been so much longer since Baylor's played A&M.
Like the easier game that you could still preserve some regionality and some fun SWC stuff is Rice.
Yeah, but we've had plenty of those. Yeah, I'm not interested, and maybe I'm wrong, Mosley. I'm not interested in an easy win for the sake of SWC. I'm interested in what makes the most sense for fans of the two schools that will bring a lot of energy to campus. I think getting Texas A&M a home and home with Baylor would bring a ton of energy, vitriol, excitement, attention to both campuses. More so than Texas at this point, and definitely more so than like a Rice, SMU even.
I don't know. I'd like a win. Take me back to the art schedule after that Auburn game. All right, Sal Paolantonio, ESPN's famous insider, joins us next.
Shades is your trusted partner in stage lighting, offering a wide range of high-quality, innovative products since 2015. With designs that cater to all needs, fast delivery, and affordable prices, we provide exceptional customer service to ensure your satisfaction. With warehouses across the globe and sales in over 100 countries, Sheds is quickly becoming one of the most recognized names in the stage lighting industry. Visit shehds.com today to discover top-tier stage lighting solutions and become part of our global network.
Introducing Muck-Off's classic pink bike cleaner, powered by revolutionary nanotechnology that breaks down dirt and grime on a microscopic level while protecting your bike's delicate finish. Developed by our mad developer Alex and tested by riders, our products are made by riders for riders. Discover more at us.muc-off.com, where we break the mold to bring you the best in bike care.
At Open Goal USA, we're revolutionizing training for both soccer and lacrosse with our innovative portable rebounders. Perfect for players of all ages and skill levels, our rebounders improve accuracy, control, and technique in both sports. Built with premium materials for durability and ease of use, they're ideal for training anywhere, anytime. Whether you're perfecting your soccer game or sharpening your lacrosse skills, Open Goal USA has you covered. Visit OpenGoalUSA.com and elevate your training today.
Chapellex is a full-category shapewear brand dedicated to providing women with exceptional comfort and support. We offer thoughtfully designed solutions that blend style with functionality, empowering women to feel confident and at ease every day. Chappellex is redefining what it means to have a perfect body. Our mission celebrates body positivity, embracing every shape and size, because true beauty lies in authenticity. Visit shapellx.com today and join a movement towards self-love, acceptance, and confidence.
Indulge in Blum's luxurious Lotus flower rolls. The green Lotus roll bursts with a caramel apple flavor, while the blue Lotus roll offers a smooth berry cream sensation. With our Crush for Flavor technology, enjoy an instant burst of natural, intense flavor anytime you desire. Elevate your experience with the finest creations nature has to offer. Explore the full collection at blumleaf.com. That's BLUUMLEAF.com. Blumleaf. Golf Partner, the world's largest golf store network, offers more purchasing opportunities than anywhere else. With a dominant market share and a wider selection of quality secondhand golf clubs than our competitors, we make it easy for you to enjoy the game with affordable, top-quality equipment. Join us at golfpartnerusa.com and discover why we're the trusted choice for golf lovers worldwide. That's GOLFPARTNERUSA.com. Golf Partner. At Terrapin Ridge Farms, they believe in the joy of effortless entertaining. Inspired by CEO Mary O'Donnell's mom and her legendary holiday parties, they've crafted a line of gourmet foods that turn any meal into a celebration. From savory jams to mustards, aiolis, and more, their products are made with love, bringing unforgettable flavors to your table. Whether it's a casual get-together or a special occasion, they make it easy to impress. Terrapin Ridge Farms, where great food and great memories come together. Visit them at terrapinridge.com. Terrapin Ridge.
Relax with Hemp Delicious. Organically grown hemp, massively blended with delicious organic herbs, responsibly sourced for their holistic benefits. Each sip offers calming, antioxidant-rich wellness. Brewed just for you. Sip the calm with Hemp Delicious. Find your blend at hempdelicious.com.
Matt Mosley Show. And you see right there the the picture of him, the smile, and you know we're going to have him for even more years. Since 1995, Sal Powell himself, Sal Paolantonio, has been with ESPN. The extension announced today. Sal, congratulations to you. It continues. The journey continues. They just cannot get enough of you. Great to have you on the Mosley Show. Oh goodness, we are waiting. We're got Sal via phone, and we're getting it where Sal can hear me okay. And right now, I can't hear Sal, which could be a bit of an issue. Scotty, let me know kind of what's going on there. But Sal Paolantonio.
I can hear you guys.
Oh, good. There he is. I hear you now, Sal. We've joined, YouTube now. We got the video. People want to see my hair, that kind of thing. So it's always some interesting things. But hey, congratulations! The news came out today about your extension. I can now hear you. And man, you started in 1995 at ESPN. Congratulations on your deal. I'm more excited about this deal than the Micah Parsons new deal with the Packers.
Well, that's very nice of you, and it's nice of you to give me the opportunity to be on your show, Matt. We haven't talked in quite some time, and man, we got a big game tomorrow. I mean, it's a once-in-a-lifetime event in Philadelphia with the banner going up and Dallas visiting Philadelphia in week one. The last time that happened was 55 years ago, 1970, on the campus of the University of Pennsylvania at Franklin Field. So this is a big deal. Dallas week, as you know, in Philadelphia is, I like to say it's not pomp and circumstance, it's madness and mayhem. And it's the fact that it's coming in September. It's the football gods have blessed us with Christmas in September, so it's really great. The Thursday night crew, and I know the town is geeked up for it. It's a big ticket. those touchdown club seats in the end zone where you see Mike Trout or Aaron Boone or some of the baseball players or NBA players sitting. LeBron James has been there. Those seats are going for $5,000 and $6,000 right now. So there's Super Bowl prices on some of these tickets tomorrow night.
Sal, this Coach Sirianni saying he's not going to have the players out there for the raising of the banner. Now, this is a new one on me. In NBA, other sports, for those ceremonies, the players are always out there enjoying that. It's a huge part of why they do it, for the players to get to see it. I guess this is Coach Sirianni's way of saying, hey, we're going to move on. We're not going to be out there. Sal, you've monitored, and that's kind of been a big story over the last 24 hours. Do you think this is well received by the players, or do you think there are a few players who are like, well, we did accomplish this huge thing. It'd be kind of fun to watch the banners go up watch the banner go up in the stadium. How do you feel like the players are reacting to Nick Sirianni making that statement?
Well, we haven't heard any dissension. We heard Cam Jurgens, Jordan Mailata. A.J. Brown yesterday talked about the fact that, the banner is not a big deal. If you're asking me personally what my thoughts are, I think it's a chance for the players to share the experience with the fans in a once-in-a-lifetime moment. Some of those younger players like Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, who were rookies last year, Zach Bond, who came out of nowhere as a linebacker, it's their first ring, and Jalen Hurts his first ring. And, as we all know, Matt, it's no guarantee you're going to get back. It's never a guarantee you're going to get back. So to suggest that you wouldn't derive pleasure or inspiration from sharing it with the fans seems out of place for me. It seems misguided. They've hit all the right notes, Sirianni, Roseman, and Lurie. When you go to the Super Bowl and win it in 52 and 59, and you've gone to 3 of them in 8 years, they've hit all the right notes, and Roseman is drafted well and all that. But I think, honestly, in my personal opinion, having covered this team for 33 years, raised my children in this area, been around for 40 years, understand the chip on the shoulder of the Philadelphia community. I think it's a big, big fat swing and miss, frankly.
Wow. I tend to agree with you, and I appreciate that perspective. And if the Eagles can just go 30 years without going to a title game, they'll get a documentary, made about them. They'll get a huge Netflix. They've had too much success to get as many documentaries as the Dallas Cowboys have. Are people, Sal Powell, when it comes to Micah Parsons and how this whole thing went down, and I want your thought on this. Is it almost amusing, do you think, to Eagles fans that the Cowboys would sit here and trade maybe their best player, maybe their most productive player, perhaps their most feared player? It almost, to me, some of the players' comments coming out of from the locker room, they almost seem kind of to chuckle about it. What's been that perspective? And then you personally, I want to hear your thoughts on the trade. Do you think it's crazy? Can you see why they did it? I wanted to kind of get your perspective on it.
Yeah, I think I have a wide perspective on it, Matt. First of all, it's obvious that it wasn't a plan. If it were a plan by the Cowboys, by Jerry and Stephen Jones, they would have traded him to an AFC team. Certainly Buffalo was interested. Certainly Baltimore could have been interested. In March, get the picks in 2025 and move on and just say, hey, we got to stop the run. B, we don't want to put that much money in one defensive player. We can get a boatload of A, B, and C from these guys. We think it will change our franchise. This is our plan. But let the drama play out the way that they did. It was, it was a detour, a major detour, a poisonous detour. That was a major distraction and drama throughout the summer. And I don't think that it helped the team at all. can't possibly, when you're game planning for Micah Parsons, when Brian Schottenheimer says with a week to go in the season, I expect Micah Parsons to be out there, and then bang, zoom, he's gone to Green Bay, an NFC rival. It just smells real bad. And, but the flip side of it, now, listen, if they had made a major argument, a reasoned argument to trade him in March and got, instead of 2 first-rounders, 3, and maybe some more other picks and a good player, young ascending player, which I think Micah Parsons is worth, there can be an argument made for taking the money and investing in a lot of other players. Because, like you said, the Cowboys have come up dry for so long, you can make that argument. So you look at the top 6 paid edge rushers. Go down the list, starting with Micah, T.J. Watt, Trey Hendrickson, Myles Garrett. I forget who else is on the list, but the top six edge rushers, only one of them made the playoffs last year, and that was T.J. Watt. They won 10 games. They were bounced out in the wild card round. The Eagles' top pass rusher is Nolan Smith Jr. He is the 53rd highest paid pass rusher in the league. 53rd. So Howie Roseman has figured it out 100%. That defense comes from the inside out. That offense comes from the inside out in today's National Football League. And the Cowboys are perhaps waking up to it, but I think they should have traded him earlier and made an argument to do it earlier and got a lot more for him. Right now, it just looks like a desperation move to move him to Green Bay because, you're coming in. Micah Parsons is one of the top 5 guys that you have to game plan for defensively in the NFL. Top 5. Lawrence Taylor type of, I guess I'm throwing around a big name. Maybe I shouldn't be. But Lawrence Taylor type of guy that you got a game plan for.
Yeah, and Sal, now they're claiming the run defense will be better addition by subtraction, which, man, I know Jerry has to have his talking points, but that does not pass the smell test when you sit up there and trade somebody at this level and you start talking about the run defense. Sal, have you watched some of the Jerry documentary? And if you have, what did you think of Ed Werder's performance? He did work blue. There was an expletive he dropped on there. He's expressed regret on that a little bit to me, but have you watched some of it? And do you think Ed showed some pretty good versatility with some of his on-camera work?
I thought he was great. I thought he was fantastic. I loved. He dropped some sound bites in there, man. He was great, and I was watching it for him to pop up on the screen. It was terrific. Him and Goose sitting there. They carried the story for quite some time, I thought. I liked it quite a bit. I thought that the documentary was very entertaining. I watched it with my wife, Lynn, who thinks that Darryl Strawberry is the best NFL player of all time. So she's got she's got no real interest in football at all, but she really enjoyed it. She's met Jerry Jones a couple of times. And as you know, Jerry is, if nothing else, eternally charming, and he charmed her quite a bit. So she wanted to watch it, and we watched it together. And I thought it was really interesting. I thought there was stuff that was missing. If I'm just coming from a Philadelphia perspective, the name Buddy Ryan was not in there and should have been. I mean, how much Jimmy Johnson got tortured by this Buddy Ryan defenses. I thought that was a big miss. The fact that Michael Irvin was booed in Philadelphia and when he was injured was a horrible thing. And I was surprised that was not in there. I thought Michael Irvin was terrific. Emmett was great. Michael Irvin saying we could have won 5 Super Bowls in a row. I hit pause and I said, wow, that's a big claim. I never heard him say that before, or anybody else within the Dallas Cowboys organization. And of course, the regret that the Niners must have for trading Charles Haley. You could just feel it when Jerry Rice talks about the missed opportunities that they had. But man, oh man, I would say, Matt, chapter 3 of that series was one of the most entertaining NFL films produced, or anybody produced NFL pro football documentaries. Chapter 3 was really spectacular, I thought.
Well, and you got to see a lot of that up close, and the whole the Eagles, the back and forth. I mean, people don't quite understand. Even Howie Roseman, by the way, his path has been so fascinating, even over the past decade or so. You think about how now he's kind of held as a genius, and it's accepted. And you think about for that one amount of time where he was relegated basically to a little cubicle and was just kind of barely hanging in there. And then of course he was back in the power seat. This whole Eagles rise in the context of Jerry struggling so much over the years since Jimmy left and after Barry, it just fascinates me. And I remember one time being in Howie's office, and the Cowboys had come off a really good season, and he just he said, look up at his whiteboard, and it was just the Cowboys too deep. It wasn't any other teams too deep. They were just, and so Sal, you know how much these two teams and organizations obsess about each other. And it must feel great to the Eagles right now to have so much of the upper hand. But they also have to be laughing at the fact that the Cowboys still get the huge headlines, despite year after year the lack of success. And I don't know if that bothers anybody particularly, but that's just the facts. That's just the way it is. But it is wild, isn't it, how Roseman has gone from the guy to not being the guy to now like made man in that town. I mean, considered maybe the top 2 or 3 best executive in all the game.
Well, I don't know if you go on Instagram, but I have a very benign footprint in social media, and I do have an Instagram account, and I made a case over the summer that Howie Roseman is on track to go to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. He is only one of 2 general managers in pro football history to take 2 different coaches and 2 different quarterbacks and win 2 Super Bowls. The other is Ozzie Newsome, and Ozzie is in the Hall of Fame. I think what Roseman has accomplished is Hall of Fame worthy, and he's still very young. His draft last year was a master class in restocking a defense with young players, and every one of them just hit big. And the way he's drafted Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter and Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean is quite amazing. It really is. I mean, go back and watch Super Bowl 59 for a few minutes. The Eagles steamrolled the Chiefs, embarrassed them, blew out the building. Listen, I didn't grow up here. I am not a Philadelphia Eagles fan. I'm not a fan of any team. I don't wear the gear of any team. But I'm a fan of excellence in sports. And the Eagles were up 27-0 and 40-6 on a team that was trying to three-peat as Super Bowl champs. They annihilated and embarrassed them. And having known Andy Reid his entire professional career, I picked him up at the airport here in Philadelphia when he got the job as the head coach in 1999 and drove him to his first press conference. So I've been around for a long time. He's got a quiet rectitude about him, and I am sure that they have spoken privately about how that game went and how much it motivates them to get back to the Super Bowl. And I do think they have the pieces in place to get back, even in a crazy, crazy competitive AFC. I think the Eagles, will have trouble defensively tomorrow night. I do. I've said it all summer long. letting Darius Slade just walk out the door without having a defined plan to replace him at left corner. They still haven't named the starting left corner. The competition has been, shall we say, uninspiring at that position this summer. And then to trade C.J. Gardner-Johnson for Kenyon Green, they cut him. And C.J. Gardner-Johnson, in my view, was a hugely important player in that Super Bowl run last year. Led the team in interceptions, great communicator, great trash talker, great tackler, always in the right place at the right time. They're going to miss him on the back end. They really are. And again, they don't really have a defined plan to replace him at safety. And Fangio doesn't blitz. He did not blitz once in that Super Bowl against the Chiefs. What does that mean? That means you got to have superior secondary play. And, I know George Pickens has been a head case, but he's playing for money now. And he's got talent. And you got to be preoccupied with both those cats now, CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. Schottenheimer's a big believer in pre-snap motion. He'll try to hide Lamb in the slot. He's going to try to do everything he can confuse a secondary that still hasn't been solidified for Philadelphia. I expect Schottenheimer and Dak to throw the ball off the bus. They'll get egged on I-95 as they come in. And when they park the bus, they'll be talking about how much they're going to be throwing the football first quarter. I expect them to throw. I mean, here in Philly, what the cops do is they purposely stop the bus on the I-95 off ramp. Wait, we got to stop here for a second. Give the fans a stationary target for all those eggs that they throw at the bus. And it's so funny when the players get off the bus, they all look at me like, does that really still happen in the 21st century? I'm like, yeah, it really does still happen. Yes.
Well, and we were both there for the TO when he came back to town and some of the funerals.
Oh my gosh. Oh my God. The funeral fire was something right out of Game of Thrones when he came back. My God, it was unbelievable. Oh my God. It was one of, that and the district attorney of the city of Philadelphia, Ed Rendell, throwing snowballs from the 700 level on Jimmy Johnson's head in 1989. And then, of course, 2 years later, even though Rendell was outed by my colleagues at the Philadelphia Inquirer at the time, Matt, 2 years later, Ed Rendell was elected mayor in a landslide, even though he was caught throwing snowballs from the 700 level. Only in Philly, baby. That's all I got to say. It's in my view, and I've been everywhere. It's the greatest sports town in America. Greatest fans and why wouldn't you want to? And that's why I say, why wouldn't you want to celebrate the banner going up with the fans? I have found raising 3 daughters and now 4 grandchildren, and been married for 47 years, that it's so hard to manage inspiration and expectations and emotions. Now, once you start getting in that business, you get into trouble. And you got to let people find their own inspiration from wherever it can come. And if you're a young player who's won his first Super Bowl and you derive so much emotional inspiration from the fans, and they all talk about it, right? What's the one thing they all talk about when they go into the Ring of Honor? Thank you, fans. That was one of the greatest things about the Netflix series with Jimmy Johnson finally getting in the Ring of Honor. Man, I love Jimmy. He's so fantastic. What a great guy. Always liked him. But when they all thank the fans, they want to share it with the fans. They all say it. I've seen it everywhere. Eli Manning, Phil Simms, Bill Parcells in New York, here in Philadelphia, Brian Dawkins and Brian Westbrook and everybody and all those guys and it's going to happen to Jason Kelsey and Brandon Graham and Fletcher Cox here. They all thank the fans. So why not share the banner going up with the fans? I think it's a missed opportunity. I do. I really do.
Well, I tell you, I love this opportunity. It's great catching up with you. And I was so happy when I saw you were, not that I ever thought you would stop, but that you were continuing on with ESPN. And your 30th year with ESPN, 1995. And I lasted about 5 of those with you. At some point, you and we had a great time together. So boy, my hat's off to you. Have a great time tomorrow, and we'll be watching all your coverage. And I love seeing you're continuing on all your shows that you do. The matchup show is a great one. But just congratulations, Sal Pal, and I really appreciate you doing this.
Well, it's my pleasure. Thank you for the opportunity to be on your show, Matt. When I got the text from you this morning, I had a laugh, and I said, I got to catch up with my man, Matt. And it's very nice to visit with you. And thank you for the invitation. And hopefully you'll get up to Philadelphia, and we'll go out to 10th and Diamond and have some pasta.
I would love that. You once gave me a chance to come over to the swimming pool, and I should have taken you up on it. That's all you needed was Mosley in the Sal Pal swimming pool. But I do remember that, and I've regretted not taking you up on that.
Oh my God! Well, the thing you missed was my wife's raviolis. That was the thing that really. That was talk about major swing and miss. I mean, if you ever come back. You got to come to the Paolantonio Hacienda, sit poolside, and have ravioli like they do in the old country.
That's right. They'll be playing some of that Sicilian music. Yes, I love it. I love it. All right, well, have a great one, and we'll be watching on TV for all your pregame, all your reporting, and congratulations again. Thanks, Sal.
All right, my brother.
There you go, Sal Paolantonio, the legendary reporter for ESPN on the Matt Mosley show on Rogue Media Network. And Scotty, that is a good way to end things. Wow, that was Sal. A lot of interesting stuff on Micah. We may have to get back into some of that tomorrow. So he thinks it's misguided. The banner thing, that's interesting. He's got a lot of thoughts on Micah. And then there was one other thing in there that was I thought that stuff on the as we do the landing. Hello, Brazos Landing. Thank you, Lindsay family. We got to say goodbye, but we always love talking about the Brazos Landing. But, on one hand, he's talking about putting the GM in the Hall of Fame, that he could be in the Hall of Fame someday, which I think maybe Howie Roseman's headed that way. And I've known Howie over the years. It's amazing how he went from the penthouse to the outhouse back to the penthouse. It almost never happens, but it happened for Howie Roseman. But the way he was talking about the cornerback that, letting Slay go, and sounds like there's some things he thinks the Cowboys might be able to accomplish against the Eagles tomorrow night. That excites me. And I could see us using some of that on the old Mosley show tomorrow because, of course, Scotty, you and I need to hole up and accomplish some things tomorrow. So we got a lot going on. Appreciate everybody. I mean, you never know. If you show up for the Mosley show, you may get a legend. And on the day that his contract extension was announced at ESPN, what a fun day to have. The great Sal Paolantonio. Sal Pal, they call him. He's got those great pair of glasses. And shout out to Brazos Landing. Oh, man, I could use some bang bang shrimp. I promise you I'll be in there tomorrow, and I'll be looking at whatever they're serving. And whatever they're serving is always great. In fact, some of their seafood I love. And then may do a chicken fried steak. May do a little bit of chicken fried steak. We'll see. But I always love stopping by the Brazos Landing. For the great Scotty Swingler, I am Matt Mosley. We've come to the end of the program, sadly. We'll see you tomorrow at 1 o'clock straight up. Good night, everybody.
Football season is back, and Underdog is the best place for you to make picks and win money all season long. And playing on Underdog, it's easy. Even I can do it. You just pick whether your favorite players are going to go higher or lower on particular stats like touchdowns or even interceptions, and you can win up to 5,000 times your cash. And you can play with as little as $1. So this week, let me show you what I'm looking at. This week, I am picking 2 of my favorite teams and some of their best players. For Thursday night's big game, Dallas and Philadelphia, I've got George Pickens going over 49.5 receiving yards. Good debut for him. And we know it's going to happen against a great defense like the Eagles. Dak Prescott higher than half an interception thrown. For the big game Saturday, Baylor at SMU. My guy Bryson Washington is going to get into the end zone. I've got him at higher than half of a rushing or receiving touchdowns. And listen, Baylor looked awful against the quarterback run last week, so I've got Kevin Jennings of SMU rushing for more than 29.5 yards. And hey, if you want to play along with me today, you can sign up with a promo code Mosley to score $50 in a bonus fund when you play your first $5. You play $5, you'll get $50 in a bonus fund. That's promo code Mosley. Millions of fans have already made billions making picks on Underdog. Will you be next? Underdog. Make picks. Win money. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play-and-get-terms_DFS_.html for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 HOPE line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. That's 467-369.